A guten Erev Shabbos, my dear friends. This week, Shabbos, Nachamu, the Shabbos after Tisha B'Av, God consoles the Jewish people. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami, with double consolation. And we read a portion of Vaeschanan. In it, we have the Ten Commandments. We have the Shema Israel. Indeed, a very powerful parsha. In 1966, President of Israel, Zalman came to visit here in New York. He came from a family of Chabad Hasidim, and he himself was very close with the Lubavitcher Rebbe. And he wanted to see the Rebbe as well. 3 days before the visit, he calls up the Rebbe and he says that he's being pressured, that it is not befitting that he should come see the Rebbe. So he asked the Rebbe if the Rebbe would instead come visit him in his hotel room. The Rebbe told him that he has to ask his father-in-law, the previous Rebbe. Of course, the previous Rebbe was not physically here, but this is the Rebbe we're talking about. The Rebbe went to the Ohel, and on the way back, he said to call Mr. Shazar, the President Shazar, and to tell him that the previous Rebbe says, from Lubavitch, geht man nicht aus, fort man nicht aus. You don't travel out of Lubavitch. Shazar said, in that case, I'm coming to visit the Rebbe. He came to 7:70, 11 o'clock at night with a whole entourage, with police. And the Rebbe took him around. Later, he related that the Rebbe showed him, he told him, this was the place the previous Rebbe, my father-in-law, danced and was rejoicing on Simchas Torah. This is the place where he cried on Tisha B'Av. This is the place where he said Chassidus. And he said to him, this place I could not bring to you. This I couldn't bring to you. And when he came into the room, the Rebbe told him, this is the room where tens of thousands of people are getting advice and being helped from that room. That's why the meeting had to be in this room. You see, Kedusha, holiness, Torah, prayer, penetrates and stays even in physical objects. We read this in this week's Torah portion. After reading the Ten Commandments, the Torah describes and says the voice of God, the voice of the Ten Commandments was Kol Gadol Velo Yasaf. What does that mean? A great voice that did not continue. What does that mean? There's different interpretations about this. There's one interesting medrash that says Velo Yasaf means that the voice didn't have an echo. And the Rebbe asked the question, what's the big deal? It doesn't have an echo. On the contrary, describing God's voice, well, you know how great it was that it didn't have an echo. On the contrary, if it doesn't have an echo, it sounds like the voice is not that great, because a great voice does have an echo. And the Rebbe says, what makes the echo? When the voice travels and there is something that blocks the voice, it bounces back. God's voice did not bounce back. God's voice penetrated the entire creation. Every part of the creation was penetrated by the voice of God. This is the power of the Torah. Torah needs to penetrate, and it does penetrate. In fact, there were many sages that they instructed when they pass away, they should take the table that they studied Torah on and to make this as their coffin. Because even the material object penetrates. The voice of the Torah, the sound of the Torah, penetrates into the material object and it elevates it, becomes holy in a sense. What is the lesson to us? Our job is to give the Torah, to teach the Torah. Sometimes we teach Torah like we're preaching from above, from on top, and it bounces back. It's not penetrating. Our job is to make sure that the voice of Torah that we teach doesn't bounce back. It penetrates. How do you make sure that it penetrates? Our sages tell us, Dvarim hayotzim min halev nichnasim in alev. Words that comes out from your heart penetrates. It enters their heart. So may Hashem help that the voice of Torah and mitzvahs that we do should penetrate everywhere. Ourselves, first of all, to our surroundings, to our children, to our neighbors. And this way, we'll have the penetration of God's revelation into this world with the coming of Mashiach. Have a wonderful, wonderful Shabbos.